Except where them haters, where them hoes, where them throws, you know what I'm saying? Cecil.
Keep this shadow going over me here, because I's about to get in trouble. Why is I's about to get in trouble? Because I'm about to say something positive about somebody that I know a lot of people can't stand. And I know a lot of people like, but a lot of people can't stand. And this man, and I've said this not to his face, because I've never met him face to face, but I said this to him on one of his shows. And he is the opposite of me. And this man's name is Tom Leykis. I'm black, he's white. He is rich. I'm not, but I'd love to be that rich. And if that makes me evil, then I'm evil. I'd love to be as rich as him. I am for marriage. He is not, even though he's done it 4 times. He has some protocols and opinions about women that I don't necessarily share 100%. And I haven't really listened to him that much in a long time. But he showed up in my feed. And when they show up in my feed over and over again, I have to check them out, because that's how I found some martial artists on YouTube. I was like, let me see what he's talking about now. So I started listening and listening. And it's not one particular thing that I think he can teach martial artists. Well, there is one thing. It's not from one particular video. If you are going after a dream, there are people who are going to try and kill it. They're going to try to kill your dream, or they're going to try to discourage you or do everything they can to derail you. Okay? Now, when I knew this and heard this, see, my dumb mistake, when I first came aware of this idea, and this is before I found Tom Leykis. My problem is, I thought that if my dream wasn't all that big, really, that people wouldn't try and kill it. But I'm here to tell you, it doesn't matter how big or small your dream is. If you are about something, somebody's going to try and kill it. Now, where I have to give Tom Leykis his props is his attitude of how you have to cut off everybody in order to accomplish your goal, especially relationships. Just don't even try to get into a serious relationship with the woman if you're a man, until you become who you want to be. In a way, that is how I got through college. And it wasn't deliberate. I was not aware that this is what I was doing. But this is what got me to Tom Leykis the first time. Because when I first heard a lot of his stuff, I was like, this dude is crazy. This dude is ridiculous. This dude is wrong. And I've said this too about other people that I've lent an ear to, even if I didn't ultimately accept all of their thoughts. I just did a Bruce Lee. I took what was useful and I discarded the rest. But then when he started talking about like how much to pay for drinks, I had to stop, because it was like, that's what I did. How often to call people back if they don't seem like they're serious and stuff like that. It's like, that's what I did. Because I was Poindexter, but I didn't do it trying to be mean. I set caps and limits because I didn't have any money. My parents did not pay for me to go to school. And I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. They didn't have money to send me to school. They had enough money to get me there and pick me up and feed me on holidays. And a couple of times they gave me a little bit of money here and there. I had to get money from part-time work and from the reserves and from scholarships. So I had to set limits. Those limits actually kept me from being used. But it was still the same type of Leykis one-on-one-ing thing that he did. Also, like he says, but I didn't do this. I got excluded from dating. I got kicked out and rejected from dating because I didn't have any money. Even though I was at college around a bunch of other college students who were female, they're in college too, but because I didn't have money to spend on them, I got rejected out. So I didn't really have any, I only had like two serious relationships in college. And I also had to be about the thing of, I told both of the women that I ended up having serious relationships with, if they want to spend time with me, I was like, I got to study. I got to study at this time. I got to study. So, if we hanging out, we got to study. And I made them study. I was like, you going to be with me? You got to study with me. I made them study. And both of their grades, both women I was involved in with, not at the same time, their grades went up hanging around with me. And there was one time when, this is before the serious relationships, I was trying to get my feelers out with girls. When my grades took a dip, I stopped. I stopped. I only got like a couple of bad grades. I think I got a D on a quiz or something. I say, no, 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 no more, no more. That was when I shaved off anybody else I was interested in and just went after the one that for the first serious relationship. Because I got a D on the quiz. And I was not a straight A student, but I was a strong B student. I'm like, I'm gonna work for my B. That's what I can get. That was very Leykis of me before I knew of a Tom Leykis. Now he says that specifically women are dream killers. But dream killers are not just one gender. Some of you all know that there are going to be people, like if you go into college, you're like, why do you want to go to college? You don't need no college degree, blah, 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 blah. Right? We have a thing in our society where we act like only children can have dreams. When a child says they want to do something, we all do this. When a man says he want to do something outside of go to work, we'll applaud like getting a degree because we assume that's going to work. If he says he wants to do something that is not related to getting a job, we talk smack to him, sometimes to his face, or we look down on him until he becomes successful at what he wants to do. Then we say it's okay. And I had to deal with this with martial arts. Seriously, when, like, I had a dream of getting a black belt. My mother, who had been supportive of practically everything I did before, she was semi-supportive of the music thing when I was doing it. She was quasi. She didn't throw too much shade on it. But she was just like, just be careful and don't become a drug addict or something being around a musician. And I thought she was exaggerating, and it turns out that she wasn't. I didn't know my father was a musician at one point. So she knew for what she spoke. Not that he became a drug addict, but she knew, what was around that stuff. So that's another video. But when it came to martial arts, she hated me doing it. She didn't respect it. 3 people who were very key in my life, and 2 have passed away. My mother and my uncle and my grandmother. And all 3 of them acted like I was ridiculous, crazy, wasting my time with trying to do martial arts. Boy, you need to get a job. But I have a job. Well, boy, if you got time for that job and to do that karate, you can get another job. Just get another job. I'm like, I'm 30 years old. Why are you still calling me boy? Shut up, boy. I didn't make the rank of son until I got to be 40. You shaping up to be a nice young man. Like my kids are almost grown. I'm taking care of my kids. I've been married for over 10, 15 years, and you still acting like I'm a babe? What? Anyway, that's how people are though when they're older than you. They still remember you in the diapers, so they see you in the diapers. And that's another dynamic. I learned this from I learned this from when I was trying to make it in music and hip hop. It was in one of KRS-One's books, I think. And he's saying that people can only see you how they see you. Meaning if your nickname was Lil, gosh, let me use a nickname that somebody I know doesn't actually have. Truck. Okay. If you a little truck and you used to run around playing with a little dump truck, so they called you truck, and you had Dookie in your diapers when you played with your truck, and even when you learned how to use the toilet, everybody called you truck. The people that knew you from truck days just see you as truck. That's what they see you as. That's how they know you. They know you as little truck. Hey, little truck. What's that, little truck? You want to learn kung fu, little truck? Ah, little truck won't be cut. You gonna throw the truck at little truck? Now I'm using African American affectations, but this is not just a black thing. This is a human thing. That's how they see you. So that's how they know you. And you're not going to get any respect from the people who knew you as little truck until after you've accomplished your goal. I mean, my mother didn't live long enough to see me get a black belt. When I finally got the first black belt, my uncle was kind of like, all right. Can you get a job with it? But he still wasn't like as crazy. He's like, that's good. Now, can you get a job? It's like, But you know what, though? I ended up being late to one of my grandmother's birthday celebrations because I was teaching class. And I just knew they was going to say something, right? As soon as I get there, they say, oh, you late. What happened? Because the kids and my wife were there before me. What happened to you? Your family's here. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I had to teach a class and blah, blah, blah. Oh, you had to teach a class? With the karate? You teaching the kids and stuff? Oh, that's good. That's a job. I'm sorry. You got a job. I'm like, because now that I'm an instructor and I got a job with it, and it's not making a lot of money, trust me. I don't pay for my house with my martial arts money. But, I mean, it helps. It ain't like you don't see me quitting. You don't see me returning those checks back to Park and Rec, so there you go. You don't see me when people want to pay for lessons, as infrequently as that happens. There's no way I can live off of that either. You don't see me turning that down. But now that it's a job, it's okay. And now my grandmother will ask me about it if she remembers, because she's older and dementia and stuff. She asked me about it. It's like now the same people who didn't like what I was doing, then when you become successful, they end up going, yeah. But that's how it is, though. That's how it is. You have to tune out or either totally disassociate yourself away from people while you're working on your dream. That even includes if your dream is martial arts. Now, you may think with the advent of what we call McDojos that it would be easy for somebody to get a black belt, so you shouldn't care. Then why am I even making this video? Well, see, what you don't understand is this ties into what I was saying about kids. McDojo type stuff is for kids. People will put up with kids having a dream. But when you are grown and you want to go after a black belt, you're going to run into some problems. You're going to be held to strict attendance requirements because you're grown. The energy that you devote to going to class could suck energy away from your job, your real job. You have to be careful of that. I know I've mentioned in some videos with my knuckles were darker. I finally got them conditioned so that when I do this stuff, it's not really showing. When I was going through the rehardening the knuckles, I had marks on my hands, and that would draw negative attention from some people that noticed it. And I didn't want that kind of attention. Plus, if you grown, the be hard, especially if you're a man, the be hard contingent of martial arts, you might be sparring and somebody may just try to up and kick it up a notch on you and try to do something that could put you in the hospital. In a way, that's like somebody that's dream killing. They probably feel like they're helping you and making you stronger, or like, get out of here. If you can't take the heat, get out of the martial arts kitchen. But still, that's like dream killing. If you end up in a hospital, you shouldn't have to sacrifice an eye to get a black belt, or ability to walk. You shouldn't have to get a broken arm to get a black belt. You shouldn't have to get a punctured lung to get a black belt, or a concussion to get a black belt. Not unless you competed in a national tournament or something and it was just a freak accident. So that's what Tom Leykis can teach us. So if you're really curious, and any children that's watching this, he is not for you. This is grown folks' business that he's talking about. I mean, like, he's an atheist. I'm not an atheist. But on the one thing he does know is he knows how to accomplish his goal. Okay? He accomplished his goal. So whether you like the way he says it or not, what he's saying, the principle that he's saying, and I've seen it in Roddy Ferguson's book, I've seen this principle in practically everything I've looked at in terms of how to be a success, how to get a goal met. When you're going after your goal, you're trying to build yourself towards what you want, it's people you just going to have to cut off. If you can't cut them off physically, you have to cut them out your mental space. You're just going to have to stop messing with them. Don't let them kill your dream. And as martial artists, if your dream is to continue to be able to do it, that means you're going to have to cut people out sometime, and you're going to have to annoy people because you need to go to training, or you need to just practice by yourself, and they want you to do what they want you to do. So that's just how it is. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. This one went long. Didn't mean for it to, but it did. So like, comment, subscribe, etc. Peace. And don't give up on your dream.